Okay, anyway, so do you guys want to hear this story? This goes into the dating lore folder. Are you guys ready for that? Or do we want to play Scrandle first? You guys are ready? Okay. So how to preface this? Okay, so I haven't really been an active dater the last month-ish because I knew I was going on my trip and I didn't really want to get too deep into anything and then be like, you know, you start going out with somebody and then, okay, well, see you later. Plus, like, you know, I feel like if you were, like, talking to a girl and you said, oh, well, I'm leaving in 2 weeks and I won't see you for basically a month or whatever, they might be like, oh, they're not going to get too into it, right? So, like I said, I haven't really been too active on the dating side. However, there's this one girl, we mashed, and we had, like, a couple conversations. We chatted a bit. Went for coffee once. Went for a walk and a coffee another time. It was very nice, very kind of casual, just getting to know her. And anyway, she, so on Saturday, we were talking about going out again. I was like, maybe we could go out on Saturday or Friday, you know, like before I leave on my trip. See you one last time. And she's like, well, no, my sister's getting married on Saturday. I can't, you know, like I'm all tied up in the wedding stuff. I can't really, you know, say if I'm free or anything like that. And I was like, you know what? That's totally cool. Maybe we luck into something next week, but if not, you know, like I'll text you when I get back. And she was like, yeah, that sounds good, right? So Saturday comes around. I was at hockey, left hockey. As I was driving from hockey, she texted me and she said, hey, I'm a little drunk. I'm at the after party of my sister's wedding. Most of the family and old people have left. Now it's just kind of a young person bash. Do you want to come join? And I was like, yeah, I'll do that. So I got home, put my gear away, put on my suit, combed my hair, forgot to shave because I was in a rush. And then I got in the car. I was like, oh, I didn't shave. So, drove out to the venue. It was only like 20 minutes from my place. It wasn't very far. It was at a Legion. A very nice Legion, but a Legion. And, you know, so I walk in. I don't know anybody here. I know this one girl that I've gone on 2 coffee dates with, right? So I walk in. She, you know, text her. She sees me. Hi. She looked good, too, in her dress. Holy moly. She was a bridesmaid. She looked good in her dress. Kind of had my, I had to stop myself from barking. So anyway, hi, you know, hug, blah, blah, blah. We're chatting, and we're just like, hey, you know, go grab a drink and all that. And then so I'm looking around the venue, right? I'm like, maybe I actually know somebody here, right? The world's not that big all the time. Sometimes the world's actually kind of small. So I'm looking around, and then I see a woman in a big fancy white dress. I'm like, well, that's obviously the bride. And I see her with a bunch of her girlies. And I recognize one of the girlies. Do you guys want to guess who one of the girlies was? I don't think you guys are going to pull this answer together because I think you guys are going to go into the history files. It's not in the history files. But guess what girl might have been in hanging out with the bride at this wedding? No, not Insane Drunk Girl. Girl that dumped you? No, not really. Nick, there you go, buddy. But Nick's only about 50% of the way there. So I look over and there's this, and the girl that's hanging out with the bride is a girl who I've also gone on 2 casual coffee dates with, kind of in the same time span as the 2 coffee dates with the girl who invited me. So I'm like, oh no, what do I, like, hold my drink. I'm like, oh no, what do I do? Oh geez. You know what? I'm gonna turn and face this way while I try to think about what I'm doing. Maybe I should just turn around. And so I was like, gosh, what do I do? But here's the thing. There's no committed relationship here, but nonetheless, I mean, I kind of like both girls. They're both very nice girls. I have nothing bad to say about either of them. Just that, you know, we're both, I kind of was like approached both coffee dates and beginning of the relationship in the same way. So I was like, So I was like, really, like, oh god, I do like, because like, I feel like you're gonna burn one of these, because girls be jealous. We played enough games, chat. Girls be jealous. You know, like I might be getting souped. I might be stabbed in the neck by a hairpin. You know what I mean? Who knows what girlies be doing, what girlies be thinking. So I basically spend the whole night, guys, with my drink, and just always conscious where she is, and just when I can't, and I was just like, oh, I'm not really a dancer, don't put me on the dance floor because then everybody can see me. Keep me off to the side where I can just kind of keep doing this. And then so no, she wasn't a bridesmaid. She wasn't a bridesmaid. So, but it got tough though, because I'm talking to this girl, and then I'm meeting some of her friends and other people that are at this wedding, and they're talking and talking, and I'm just like, God, at some point, this is gonna merge, right? It has to. However, I got out of there without the other girl and me ever making eye contact. However, I don't know if she managed to spot me and clue in who I was. So, I managed to sneak out of that one. But holy, was I like a stressful 3 hours sipping on a couple drinks. Just shuffling around all the time like, oh, we're okay, turn this way. Like, there's no big blow up. I managed to get out of the situation. You know, couple courtesy texts over the last couple days. Everything seems good. Everything seems good. But, you know, who knows? If one of these become a girlfriend and we do the Extra Life makeup thing, who knows? Maybe it'll be one of these two and we can bring it up on stream and that'll be funny. And you can maybe get me watch me get dumped live on Extra Life. A mask would have been cool if it was like a masquerade. That would have been actually nuts, and I would have had no issues then. Because I mean, am I really that recognizable like this? I don't feel like I'm that distinct. But yeah, I managed to snake out of that one, guys. Part of me wanted to go and talk to the other girl, but like just to, because I was so worried that she was gonna spot me and think I was being all sneaky and stuff, and like, how did you get here? What are you doing here? And all that. But I just didn't, because then I didn't want the girl who invited me to see me talking to another good-looking, attractive girl in a very, very nice dress as well. So I just pretended I was a different person that day. So that was my Saturday night, guys. There's another file for the dating lore. Not as wild as some of the other ones. Bridesmaid dress or the dress of the other girl? The bridesmaid dress was a little more elegant. Maybe that's not the right word for it. But since it was a bridesmaid's dress, it was very elegant. The other girl's dress, like, I think she was just a friend. And so it was a little less elegant and a little... It was, I wouldn't say it was like a cocktail dress. It wasn't like short or anything. But it was just different. I don't really know. They both looked amazing. Both these girls look great. The bridesmaid's dress, I think... the bridesmaid's dress was like this, like, kind of very deep emerald green. And I thought it looked very, very good with the one girl's skin tone. The other girl was wearing a black and white dress where it was mostly, well, not really white. It was more of like a, I guess it was gray, actually. I guess it would have been gray. She wasn't wearing white at a wedding. But it was a gray and it had like a black thing on the sides. I don't know. I could maybe MS Paint it if you guys really wanted. Could also play Minesweeper to prove that game is not impossible. Talking about doing other stuff, but that's the story, guys. Thought you guys would get a kick out of that. Another Misadventures of Adam. But this wasn't too big of a misadventure, all things considered. And then, yeah, last night I just met up with those friends, and one beer turned into 6 and turned into 2 a.m. And the karaoke machine did not have Baka Matai. The karaoke machine had all sorts of girly pop songs, so I managed to do a girly pop song. And I really want to do Old Town Road, but Old Town Road wasn't on there. Old Town Road's a good karaoke song. So, any questions? MS Paint the dress? Okay, I'll try to MS Paint the dresses. Okay. How do I... capture... Oh, crap, hang on. Okay, there we go. I had a... Sorry, I had a thing there. Why aren't you capturing? Can you capture now? There we go, MS Paint. Wait, you guys can't see anything, can you? Why is it inverted? Huh. That's weird. There we go. Got it. Got it. Got Baka was drink. No, Baka is the karaoke song that Kiryu sings, and Akiyama sings, and Saejima sings, and Nanba sings. And I don't remember if anybody else sings it. Yeah. Yvette and I were crashing out talking the other day over the Yakuza games. Although we did write Yakuza 9, or Yakuza the Next Gaiden game, The Man Who Raised His Family. And that game would rock. Just gonna say. If we get the Yakuza The Man Who Raised His Family game that we talked about, that game would rock. That's true. You're not in as many of the Yakuza streams. We haven't played that game in a while either. Yeah, Yakuza 8.5. Basically, it's the minigame collection that we've always been asking for, but the minigames are woven into Kiryu hanging out with all of his orphan babies as young adults, and meeting their significant others, and having Christmas dinner, and stuff like that. So, it would rock. It would absolutely rock. Okay, I'll try to draw the green dress. So this isn't the right color, obviously. But the green dress, like... Here, I'll try to make, like, a person. Where's Phil? Okay, so this is a person. You know. Got brown hair. I'm not good at MS Paint. Yvette's MS Paint streams are awesome. Okay. And then, so, the dress had, like... These little, like... These kind of shapy things on the arms. On the green dress. And then it came in, and then at the bottom got kind of roughly like this. And then it had like a... Oh, it wasn't that deep. It was more like this. Oops. Okay, I think that's filled now. Nope. Hang on, I'm just gonna tighten up all my connections here. Scribbles. Okay. Phil. There we go. So that's kind of what the green dress looked like. And it had kind of like like two kind of strappy things across the front. So that was kind of what the girl who invited me, that was what her dress looked like. And then the other girl, this is a head. She had like, well, it was like super dark brown, but I'm just going to use black. So she had like black hair, kind of, but super dark brown. And then her dress was more, gosh, what was the shape of it? It was kind of like this at the arms. And then it kind of came into the middle. It was very V-shaped at the top. So then it came in. And it was more form-fitting. So it was kind of like that. And then it was kind of had like a black thing on each side, kind of like that. And I think there was one at the bottom. And so it was kind of like this. And then the main color was kind of a silvery grayish. So it was kind of like that. So that's what the dresses kind of look like. And now the one on... Now these look like they're the same height. This one... The one on this girl... Definitely, like... Had, like, maybe that much leg out the bottom. Where this one was almost to the ground. Pretty much to the ground. And was, like... Just kind of like her ankles were out. Shit. 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 Hang on, I'll figure out how to close this off. There we go. So there was maybe like that much. Well, okay, fuck, I'll draw some necks. Jesus, guys. Like neck. In. And the girl in this dress had much, she was stacked. We'll say that. So hers kind of looked like that. The other girl, less stacked. Not that it's a bad thing, it's just how it is. And then like it kind of strapped on like that. That's an arm. And then another arm, hand. Ah, shit. There we go. Kinda like that. Bone features? What are you guys talking about bone features for? Oh my god, I keep screwing this thing up. There. And then they both had heels on and stuff. So, like I said, they both looked fantastic. Both looked fantastic. And I was just, like I said, I was just at the party, and I'm like, with the green dress girl, anytime, like, silver black dress girl was around, I was like, oh, I'm just gonna keep shuffling. To my knowledge, the girl in the green dress did not. She was part of the wedding party, so her date was, like, one of the grooms, you know, one of his, someone from his wedding party. And to my knowledge, I did not really see the girl in the silver dress with any fellas that night. But I also wasn't looking terribly closely because I was trying to not be noticed. There we go. Oh my god. Ah! There. Art! Art stream, chat. Although, like I said, this green should be, like, much kind of deeper. Let's see if I can find it. It was more on the green side like this. Kind of darker. Kind of like that. Yeah, neither of them had dates that I know of. I would assume the girl in the green dress didn't have a date if she invited me to come hang out. I was pretty friendly, like I wasn't being super inconspicuous and trying to be like, oh, doing this kind of thing all the time, you know? But, you know, I maybe a bit more on the reserved side. And the wedding seemed like it was a fuck ton of people, which also I think made it kind of easy to blend in. This is the thumbnail. Should I upload this to... We're gonna upload it. Yeah, we'll upload this story to YouTube. Fuck it, why not? I'll cut it together. And then you guys can hopefully send it to the girl one day. Or maybe, who knows, maybe she's lurking. And this is how I find out. And again. So, yeah, it was kind of like that. And like I said, this was more of a silver, obviously, than gray. But... What song is this? Oh, it's the Stranger in Heaven song! Fuck yeah, this song rocks. There was also, like, kind of, like, details in the silver dress. Like, it kind of had, like a little bit of a... Corduroy is the wrong term, because that's, like, a material, but kind of that pattern of, like it was kind of slightly patterned, you know? Is this how I become a fashion designer? Kinda had, like, so it was kind of, like, had these, like, lines that would kind of sort of reflect the light a little bit. You know? Knits, I don't think knit's the right word. Who knows? Maybe Nick knew these people. I don't know. Dude, there's a non-zero chance anytime you go to a wedding that you're gonna run into somebody else that you know. I went to a friend's wedding where I didn't think my friend... I was like the only person from one friend circle invited to this wedding. And I ended up running into two other people I knew that he didn't know that I knew. And I didn't know they were gonna be there. And I was at the wedding and getting all ready for them to walk in and get married and shit. And I'm just standing around before taking my seat. And then all of a sudden looked over and saw these two people. I was like, oh, you guys know fella? I'm like, oh, well, we're actually closer with waifu. And I was like, oh, well, that's cool. I know fella. I'm like, oh, really? Oh, yeah, okay. You know, and have a chat. That's true. Nick and I circles do have very little overlap. We met through work, so we don't really have a lot of social interaction in our circles otherwise. But I also like have like weird, like in a way, I kind of have like almost weirdly segmented friend groups. I don't know if that's weird or not. Like I don't just have like one big circle. I kind of have like a circle here and a circle here and a circle here. You know what I mean? But I think that's kind of how most people are with friends, right? Panel? No, like I said, Yvette, it was almost, you know what it almost was like? If I can fix this up. It was almost like the dress was like 2 shades of silver. And so when the light hit it, it would kind of reflect differently. You know what I mean? I've had some... I don't know if I avoid mixing friend circles. I just think that my friend circles are on their, like I said, they're on their own, and I just kind of do it as it is. There are events where I try to mix them. Like one of my friend circles, I mixed a few months ago with another friend circle, and it went pretty well. I've also had instances where I mixed like a friend circle here with a friend circle here, and it didn't really go so well. So maybe that's kind of like, I don't want to say like scarred me, but something I'm like maybe conscious of when it comes to mixing friend circles. But yeah, it was almost like kind of like 2 slightly different silver tones So it, like, depending how the light was hitting it, sometimes it would be kind of darker and then lighter, and or like it would look super bright, or it's tough to describe. I'm not great at describing things, but yeah, it was kind of like that. And obviously the arms weren't big shoulder pad straps. They were snug to the shoulders on both these girls. There was one girl, though. I was like, that's a pretty risque dress to wear at a wedding. Here, I'll draw the one dress I saw on the girl. There was like, I don't know who this person is. I've never met them before in my life. But there was a dress on a girl at this thing that was... I would say it's a little aggressive to wear at a wedding. In my opinion. So we'll start with the head. We'll do a neck, because you guys like necks. And she was blonde, this girl. This other girl. So, she had blonde hair. Like, platinum blonde hair. Like, peroxide platinum blonde. And then, what color was it? It was like a blue. And it had like a super aggressive neckline that went like super low. And then it had like very like thin, it was like kind of pretty thin straps on it.
Adam.
And then it hugged her real tight. No, you haven't missed it, Kevin. What color did the bride wear? I think she was wearing dark blue. I thought it was kind of weird, but hey, it's her wedding. We're still in story time, Kevin. So yeah, that other dress was like, kind of like this. Kind of like, it was like a really tight blue dress. And nut hands. Obviously. And then, like, her whole legs were out in the dress. So, hang on. I gotta get the fill here. So, it was kind of like... Oh, shitballs. Kind of like this. And then... The thing that I thought made that dress... kind of aggressive was like the boobs were out like that. You know what I mean? Like if that dress slipped a little bit, I'm pretty sure the nipples were coming out. That's why, in my opinion, I thought it was kind of an aggressive choice of wedding attire. Because like that's how much boobs was showing. I was like, that's kind of a lot of boobs at a wedding, in my opinion. I'm listening to this song. What is it supposed to be? Persona 1 song, Child Abuse. Love it. And then, like, this blue dress happened. It had, like, sideways, like, almost like folds. I don't know how else to describe it. But when you got down here, it kind of had, almost like it folded a little bit. Like, these aren't stripes. They're supposed to be like, the dress was like folded over. You know, like these two pieces of paper, how you can't really, it looks the same, but actually there's a break in it. You know what I mean? So that's kind of how that one looked. Maybe it was more like, I don't know. Like, it wasn't striped. It wasn't striped, but, like, it had these folds, and... But like I said, like, her whole legs was out in that dress. Like, that thing came down halfway down her thighs, and she had, like, the girls fully on display. Which, if that's how she wants to dress, I'm not telling her she can't do that. I'm just saying that, like, when I've been to weddings, I don't often see the dresses that, like, girls would wear dancing in Vegas at a wedding. You know what I mean? And, like, this dress was tight on her, too. Like, it actually didn't really flare out that much. bottom. Like, it actually kind of, like, came in a bit. So it was probably a little bit more like this. Like, it was snug. But hey, like I said, that's how she wanted to wear. When I was at the wedding, Haley, there were no kids around at this part. Also, I find it not uncommon these days for a lot of people, maybe it's a my generation thing. They don't have kids at weddings. A lot of my friends who've gotten married had like no kid weddings. So she was not 70 pounds, but she wasn't a big girl. Like, maybe she was like 100 pounds and like 20 pounds boob. Like, I'm very serious in how much those things were out. Like, we did a side profile. You know what I mean? So, anyway, that's the wedding. I crashed? I guess, did I crash the wedding? I guess that would be kind of crashing a wedding, but I was invited. I just wasn't, like, invited by just the hosts. I was invited by somebody involved in the wedding party. And I had my blue suit on. I looked fucking good. That blue suit is so nice. It fits me so well. Cool. Alright, chat. That's the wedding story. That's true, I didn't eat any food. I bought drinks. Which is, I'm sure they were probably really okay with. Ichiban suit? That would be... an Ichiban suit is something I've literally considered, but I just figure it's too loud to wear. You know what I mean? I feel like an Ichiban suit is just too loud. I also thought about getting a green suit and walking around like Lloyd Forger, but I don't know where I would ever wear a green suit. I can upstage the bride? Yeah, maybe I should. Maybe I should.